Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and this is the day 8 in the integration training. In this session, we'll understand that scripted SOAP integration. So if I go back to my documentation under this web service integration, in this documentation, we'll basically talk about that scripted web services integration, which is the SOAP. So basically, scripted web services integration have SOAP and REST two method. The most used method is the complex method is the scripted web service REST, and similarly scripted web service SOAP. These are the methods which is very most common uses. And for complex validation or complex regulation, complex data validation, all those cases we use the scripted web services, either SOAP or the REST. So today, basically, we'll understand that scripted web services. So using this method, how can we get the data, and then how can we create the data? Let's see, understand that first scenario one. So in this scenario one, we need a group informations along with that group members and associated role attached to that group. So basically, in this service now, if I go back to this group table. So if I go back to the CS user group table, and let's take an example of the cab approval. This is the one of the group name. Once somebody pass this group name, I want to return this group details like name, manager, description, group email, parent, along with that group role, and then group members that are associated with this group. So all these stuffs will return that as somebody passed this group name. So how we can achieve this functionality using scripted um, web services integration that we'll discuss today. So without wasting time, let's get started. So very first thing is that I'm going to configure a little bit on this group. So first I'll set this group manager here and say here I will set that cap app at the rate gmail.com. Might be might be group informations, and I'll save that. So this is the group information. Apart from that, I will add two role inside this cab approval role maybe. So I'll search with the cab. Is anything role related to the cab? I'll add that, and along with that, I will add this change this role, this all are role. I'll add that in this group. Now, if using the simple scripted SOAP, it is not. So now using this simple scripted or using the simple import set, it was quite impossible, or it was very much become be more complex. For that, we are going to build a scripted SOAP. Using that, how we can get this information, let's understand one by one. Very first thing is that if we type the web services, under these web services, you will be able to see that scripted web services. Scripted web services have that scripted SOAP services. In this scripted SOAP services, we are going to create a SOAP message here. So very first thing is that this scripted SOAP is, or this scripted web service is used for the complex item. So we are going to create a new catalog item or new scripted web services. Under the scripted web services, you need to be provide that name of the scripted web services. Let's say that I'll say that get group information. So this might be my scripted web services name. And what is the difference between scripted web services is that previously we created a staging table. From the staging table, we are able to transforming the data from our from our staging table to the target table. In this case, there is a no staging table. It's a directly web services. Now we just have to be, if you want to put that short description, we can put that. So API will return group information. We'll create that and simply save that. So once we save that, so this scripted web services is created based on this name. The WSDL is generated. Now once you scroll down, you have a two things. One is the input parameter, another is the output. So let's say in this input parameter, what are the parameter I am going to pass that. So let's assume that as in input parameter, I will pass as a group name. So I'll say that group name. So this might be my parameter 1. So once somebody pass this group name, I will work on this based on this group. Now it can be easy, it can be combined, like it can be a input parameter can be 2-3 parameter. That's also no, I mean that can be also done. Now in the output parameter, what we will pass that? We will say that first parameter for output parameter is the group info, and the order will be 100, and maybe I will update that group name. Next parameter at the 200 level, I will say that group manager, and then third parameter or third output parameter will be called you say that group email, and then we will say that role, and I will put that role equal to 300, $400, something like that. So on 100 group name, on 200 it's a group manager, on that 300 it should be, this should be 400, and here it should be 300. Okay, and then let's say that I will say the users at 500. And at the 600 I will say the results. So very first thing, understand one more time that we created a scripted web services. In this scripted web services, we put the scripted web services name, which is called get group info, and this name is automatically populated here as an endpoint, and this is our ServiceNow instance name. And after that, we have input parameter and output parameter. So once somebody put this input parameter called group name, the we will return the output, and these are the output parameter called group name, group manager, group email, role, users, and results. So these are the parameter we are going to pass as part of this integration. So let's first copy this one. I'll copy this one and then put in my SOAP UI and see. Let's see what is happening. So this is my SOAP UI. What I will do, I will just create here SOAP, and here I'll put the WSDL. Once we put that, the automatically project name came. I need to put that username and password. So click OK. And here I need to put the username password for this API. So I'll put that. Once we put this username, password, credential, and click OK, you can see under this ServiceNow SOAP, there is a one method called execute. So let's see, or let's understand what is the difference between that import set API and this get group info. So if you see, this is the import set API that we created, and this is the scripted that we have just now created. Both name are pretty much same. Once you open that, there are many methods are available inside that. But in our case, this is the only one method, is the execute method. So basically using this import set method, if we don't want to pass them that delete method, by default they will get the delete method. By default they will get that get records, insert record, update, or update multiple records. So we don't have direct control on that. But if we give them that scripted rest, I do have direct control on that what I am going to do that. So if they want to delete that, they won't be able to delete that using this execute method. I will tell them that what they are going to do that. So using this execute method or using this scripted one, they can only be get this information. They cannot do anything, like they cannot delete anything, or they cannot create something. They can only using this method, they can only get some information. So I will put this after this I will put this username password again in this bottom. So here we do have username and password options. Under this request, I'll put this credential again. Now if we double click here, you will be able to see that that input that we have declared in our scripted SOAP. So if I go back to that ServiceNow instance, you can see this, the function name by default was execute. That's the reason the method name was created as a execute, and inside that we have a group name which is asking for, which is nothing but the input parameter that we have created here. So this is the input parameter that we have created, and this is the only one parameter that is asking in our SOAP message. Now let's say in this group we'll write the code. First thing first is that we have to receive that input that they are passing from this third party. So what I will do, that I will say that grp equal to request dot, then input parameter name I have to put that. So our case the input parameter name is the group name, so I will say that. So if I do that group grp equal to request dot group name, I will receive the group name. Now what I'll do, I'll query to that cs user group table. So let's say that where gr equal to new glide record, and here I will query to the cs user group table. And then what I'll do, I will say that if gr.get, and then here I will pass the name, and in comma I will pass the grp. So if the group is found, I will do something else. What I'll do, I will say else response dot, here I will say that output parameter, we do have output parameter called result. I will say that the group not found. So I will say that the group, then I will say grp, and here not found in ServiceNow, and save that. So first thing first is that if the SOAP message pass some group name which is not present to this our case or our system, we will pass that this result equal to group not found. And if we found this group name, what we will say, that I will say the group is present to the ServiceNow, group is found in ServiceNow. So this way we just write our first code, and let's save that. And I will go back to the cs user group table first, and then I will open that updated one, is the cab approval. This is the group name that we have, we are going to test that. So if I pass this group name as part of this one and search here, let's see what response we are getting. So once we get that, you can see that the group CAB approval is found in ServiceNow. We are getting this response. But let's say if I am passing this one as a 1, we can see that what response we are getting. If I see that, you can see that the group CAB approval is not found in ServiceNow. In this way, we can actually write the code and validate whatever we are expecting. Now next requirement is our case is that we need to be pass this role, we need to pass these groups, and we need to pass the manager and group email. These are the information we are going to be passed. So what we'll do here, we will do one by one. So let's say that group name I will pass. So let's say response dot group name equal to grp dot name. This will be the group name. Again, response dot we have called group manager. So this group manager name needs to be passed here. So I'll say that grp dot here we have a manager. So we will still check that manager dot name, and after that we have a response dot we do have the group email, so we'll pass this group email also. So here we'll say that grp dot group email, which is nothing but this one. So email will pass. So in this way we are going to be pass right now the 4 parameter. So group name, manager, email, and result. So let's see that. So total we created the 6 parameter. After that we'll pass this role and user. So I will go back here, and then if we pass this CAB approval now, we should be able to get this group information right now. So if I go back to the XML, you can see we are getting the group name, group manager, group email, all are undefined. Why? Let's go back to this script here. So we are supposed to do the gr dot, not grp. So we'll just put the gr and save that one more time and hit to that API. Once we do that, we can see that we are getting all these details called group name, group manager, group email, and then result. Along with that, we should get the user and the role that is associated with this group. So if you go back to that here, we have the roles. 3 roles is attached with this group, and then 7 member we have in this group. So how can we pass this information? For that, what I'll do, I will write here some code. So let's say that I'll say the response dot we have a users. So this is the method user, and here I will say that get users, and here I'll pass this gr.sysid. Okay, and this is the get user is nothing but I am going to declare a function here. So I'll say that function get user, and here I'll say the gr id, and here I am going to write some code. What code I have to write? So in this, to get these users, what I have to do, I have to go back to this here, and I have to query to the gr member table. So what I'll do, I will write a code called var gr member equal to new glide record. On this new glide record, I'm going to query to this table, and then grm dot add query, and first the query I will do that. This is the query I am going to do that. So group, and here I will see the gr id. So this is basic table level query. So I'm going to query this table, and then I'll do a while loop because there will be multiple users. So in while loop, and inside that I am going to add the user one by one. So I will declare that where users as a string, and inside this string what I'll do, I will concatenate that. So users equal to users plus comma and then plus grm dot, I need to fill this, I need to get this users dot name. So basically if I open that, the field name is that user. So what I'll do, grm dot user dot name, I will do that. So this way I will collect this, complete all this username, and finally after this one I will return these users. So basically in these steps it will call to this function called get users with the sysid, and then what I will do here, I will query to this sysuser gr member table and get all these user one by one and return to this user. So let's save that here, and if we go back to the SOAP message right now and hit that send and click the XML, we can see all this username right now we are getting one by one in a comma separated value. So these all are the username that we are getting comma separated value. Now what we'll do, apart from that, we need one more information called roles. So let's say that I will say that response dot role. In this role what we'll do, this is the parameter called role. In this parameter we will say, we'll also call another function called get roles, and here also we are going to query to this we are going to pass that gr.sysid, and I'm going to declare one more function called functions, and here I will say the get roles and grid, and here I am going to query to this table. So this is the table sys user has role table. So I'm going to query this table. So where grr role equal to new glide record, and I am going to basically query to this sys user has table. So gr.role.add query, and here I will say that the group copy query and save that group equal to nothing but the grid, and after that I will say the grrl equal to query, and then I will say the while and grrl dot next. In this case again we are also going to be passed that multiple roles. So I'll say that where role is equal to blank string, and here roles equal to roles plus comma, and here grrl dot, the field name of this one is the role. So I will say that role dot name. So I will say role dot name will be that case, and then finally after that I'll return that roles function, roles variables here. Now in this case we'll get all these roles and the username. So let's try again. So if I hit that, so we should be able to get the roles also. And right now you can see that the roles that is associated with these groups also showing, we are able to showing. Only one thing you can notice that there is a coming extra comma for each and every cases. For that we can also override that, or we can overcome that. For that what we have to do, we have to put a if block. So roles, if this is the there, so we'll do this case, else I will pass this roles equal to gr dot this one. So this is a simple JavaScript function, so that so we are checking that if there is any value inside the roles. So in that case what we are doing, we are adding some roles plus adding concatenation of comma and then adding the roles. If there is no role, then we are just adding that without any concatenation. Similarly, for the user, if I say that if users is there, then we will do this concatenation. So if there is any already value inside in the user, so we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just say that the users equal to grm this one. So these all are basic JavaScript and that glide record. I will do a format the code and save that. Once I save and just now hit to enter, and I should be able to I am able to successfully remove that extra comma that was coming in front of this API. So this way, if we somewhat in this way we can send the data, we can get the data from the service now, and the pupils or the to whom I'm going to give this API, they won't be able to do anything extra, like they won't be able to do any query or any kind of such kind of things. The full control is in my side because I am writing the code, and whatever code I will write inside that, each and everything will be happen. So they won't be able to make, or they don't have direct control on these ones. So this is fully controlled by ourselves. So this is the one of the use case I just give you that for these scripted web services. I do have another use cases. In this use cases, you can see I am going to paste this complete code whichever I built for this scenario one. We do have also that for the scenario two. What say that we need to create an incident so that impact and urgency cannot be selected as a high. Only deploy CI can be selected as part of this CI, and the category and subcategory should be dependent value for that. In our next sessions, we'll build this scenario 2, where we will discuss that how we can create a scripted SOAP message, and using this scripted SOAP message, how we can create a incident with this scenario called impact and urgency cannot be high. Only deploy CI can be passed as a CI. Category and subcategory should be dependency. This scenario we are going to achieve through that scripted SOAP. So this will be your task. If you can, you just try. Otherwise, I will achieve this functionality in our next class. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.